Wanna be where you are. I want you to look the way, boy. Be my superstar. Your love is all it takes, boy. Wanna be where you are.
And hello and welcome, it's Paul back again with another process video for my art journals. Sorry it's taken me so long, but I've been in the process this year of changing my art room around from one room to another, and it's taken a lot longer than I thought it would do. But anyway, I'm installed now and I'm creating me pages, and I've got my video camera and started to press record. So anyway, this page here, as you can see, I've taken 3 paints, a yellow, an orange and red. They're all Dylusions paints which take a long time to dry, giving you plenty of time to blend. As you can see, I'm using a separate sponge brush for each, and so that I'm not contaminating the colours. You know, I've got one for the yellow, one for the orange, one for the red, and I just go back over the reds and the oranges and the yellows until the colours are, well, blended to a way that I feel happy with. Okay, that's it. I've taken a tissue, a wet wipe. God, you know, I can't think of the words at the moment. I've taken a wet wipe and dipped it into the red paint and started creating a rough border, you know, wiping it around until I feel happy with it. Okay, this is a little Doodle Monster that I created a while ago. I printed it out. Printed out several versions of it and coloured it with an alcohol pen. I usually like to add a shadow with Prismacolor pencils or what, you know, something that's just slightly darker, and then obviously highlights with a white gel pen, just to give it a little bit of 3 dimensions. I'm not one for doing lots of blending, but I do like that kind of cartoonish, very graphic, one shadow, you know, something to create that darkness. Okay, I thought I'd try loosening up the sketch a bit by sort of like going over with black pen for the highlights, make it look a little bit more scribbly and hand drawn. I kind of like the effect when I see other people do it. The idea of taking a clean looking vector shape like I've got here and roughing it up to make it look, you know, more arty and a bit more I don't know, a bit more 3-dimensional. As you can, I'm very influenced by these kind of characters that you'll see in street art. It's the kind of thing that you'll see graffiti artists use, you know, in stickers and painting on wall. Nice simple figures like this. Right, my next step is I wanted something for the monster to stand on. I wanted something like a rock, and the closest thing I had was a seashell. So I drew around it to give me an idea of where I needed to apply my colour. Then I got some distress oxides, which are really easy to blend, hence the reason I like using these over distressings. And I've started by laying down a grey colour and then laying the top with green colour on top, and once I've got the green and the grey laid, I kind of just blended the two. It doesn't have to look perfect because it's going to be stamped on eventually. I've taken my archival ink and go inking it up nice and black there, and then I'm only going to stamp part of it, you know, about half of it, because I'm going to, as I say, I want this to be a kind of a mound or a rock for the creature to stand on. Okay, perfect. Now I've taken another scrapper card, and again using Dylusions paints for the same reason of their ease in blending. I've started some yellow and I got some lime green. I'll put the colours and the materials in the list below because I can never remember the names of these things, but anyway, it's a lime green and a yellow, and I'm basically just mushing the colours together to get a, you know, kind of a textured effect. I'm not being overly fussy about it. I mean, it's all going to get stamped on and cut out. You're not going to see it. It's just a background colour. Okay, now it's dry, and I've got a couple of these small round stamps of textured work. I have no idea. Something like Cat's Eye was the company. I don't believe they're here anymore. But anyway, I've stamped 3 of each in Stays On with a dark green. And now I drew these eyes and put them on the computer and sort of like printed them out at different sizes, cut them out print them out on paper, cut them out, and I'm going to stick each one of these onto my circles because I'm trying to create these tickle monsters, because I've got an idea of the quote I'm going to put in it, and I like the idea of these kind of, which is to do with scratching your own itch. So I like the idea of having these itchy, scratchy little monsters. So as I say, I thought I'd start out with any circle stamp. If you want to go, I'm sure you have plenty of circular stamps and texture stamps, or not, just stamp with a texture and then cut out circles. It doesn't have to be a circular stamp. Okay, so I put my eyes all in the middle, sometimes to the left, bit to the right, one in the middle, so that it looks like these monsters are all looking in different directions. And now back to my page. Playing around with a bit more visual texture. You know how I like to be normally clean and just use one colour. I'm playing with adding a bit more to my pages, but I don't want it to be too messy, so I'm using the red that's already used in there to keep it as monochromatic-ish as or harmonious as I can. The reds, the orange, the yellows and the orange, they're all harmonious colours that sit together on the colour wheel. Now, this stage, well, I don't really know to tell you what I'm doing. Now that I've created all the separate pieces, I'm attaching them onto the page. I've left enough space for me to write my journaling. Scratch your own itch. Again, this is something I've heard on a podcast. I think it was Creative Podcast, sort of like saying, scratch your own itch means if there's something irritating you, or there's something you really want to do and you don't say it out there, don't wait for other people to do it. Do your own thing, scratch your own itch, make things that you want to see out there. So I kind of like that, and I thought, well, I'll keep that as a quote to sort of like add to my journal one day. The kind of writing I've done is very easy. I'm using my Posca Pen, and you just write out as if it's being scratched into it, and then just to add a bit more boldness to the journaling, whatever, I kind of just add a few more lines, just make it look even more scratchy. Anyway, these tickle monsters are now coming on. What I've used is the same Posca Pen, and I'm wanting them to look a little bit more scratchy and rough, so I've kind of roughed up the outline of them so that it get rid of that smooth circular look, and now it's kind of looks like a little furry ball. Again, I'm adding shadows to make them look 3D with a darker green colour. Again, I'm shading on one side in a bold colour. I'm not doing gradients. Again, I like that bold graphic look. And where I've got shadow on one side, on the other, I'm just going to add a little highlight with my white pen. Okay, I could have left it like that, but I don't know, in my mind's eye, I sort of like saw these things having long arms, a bit like Mr. Tickle. The idea of, so I didn't give them quite long arms, but I did. I gave these kind of loose, scribbly arms, just these little creatures that are scratchy and ready to scratch your itch. Okay, I could have left the border as it was, but I don't know, it felt like it needed more, so I do like a black border, a dark border. I thought about going with a darker red colour, but I thought no, it's not contrasting enough. I know it's a very graphic colour scheme to put red and black together, so anyway, I got a texture stamp and stamped all around it, again in an archival ink, to make this kind of rough looking border, just to frame it. I think it looks really good actually. Okay, and take the papers away, and that's my page done. I shall leave you with some close-up views And thank you for watching. See you again.